Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hops. Today, checking out the final can I have left from my small haul of US hoppy beer that I got back all the way from the States with the help of Joe from Joe's Arcade. So thanks, Joe. The final beer is a Hazy, and I only got one Hazy because I wanted to try some West Coasters. And I was buying some beer from North Park, and North Park had, I was a bit too slow, but I think they had Insect Foo, then they had this one, X-Raying Citra, and they also had, was it Crispy Foo maybe? But that was gone like that, which was a West Coast Pilsner version of the hop foo. I'm thinking not exactly hop foo, but the hops used or whatever. They're using the foo name for marketing a lot, which I understand because they've also done now like the experimental foo series where they highlight a specific hop or you add an extra hop to the foo recipe, something like that. But North Park is one of my favorite brewers of hoppy beer. I love their West Coasters. I love their Hazies as well. But again, I'm more into West Coast these days than Hazies. So we're cracking X-Ring Citra. This is TMOH IPA because this is like what? Okay, it's borderline 5 weeks. So yeah, TMOH IPA, as Joe likes to say. So this is a triple dry. It's going to be fine. It's triple dry hop. This is a triple dry hop double IPA, and it's on 8.5%. It won a silver medal in 22 in the Juicy or Hazy IPA Imperial IPA category at the Great American Beer Fest. And you know, I found out for Beer Fest season, World Beer Cup, Great American Beer Fest. A lot of these brewers put on their A game with their hoppy beers. They get the best of their crop selection and everything. Just try their best to make these beers really fresh. Some of them even dial in extra hops and then they ship it to the competition, which is very funny. Like they're just trying to go all in to win those medals because I think especially Great American Beer Festival and World Beer Cup medals mean a lot. They are like some of the most prestigious medals in beer, and of course you will try to do your best to get some medals there. So this one is a Citra focused beer. That's why it's called X-Ring Citra, I guess. But we've got some supporting cast here. So it's hopped with Citra, Citra Cryo, Citra 702, Galaxy, and Freestyle Nelson Sauvin hops. And it used to be Citra Incognito, but this is 702, and 702 is a flowable hop extract from Yakima Chief, and they just named it. So it's not called 702 anymore. It's called Dyna Boost. You can see that that's the logo for it. So I've used it. It's really nice. It's flowable. You can just dunk it into your whirlpool. You can try and maybe put it in your tank and flush in hot beer and then cold beer afterwards. Kind of like they do with North Park with Incognito sometimes. Yeah, it's really cool. It gives you better yield. It has really nice fruity aromatics. Like even if you do a hot whirlpool, in my experience, and you use these products, it's gonna taste like a cold whirlpool because there's no plant matter. So it's nice. It's awesome. We got so many cool hop products these days. So 8.5%. Let's check out this Hazy banger. So it pours a pin bright hazy golden yellow color. Looks like the West Coast haze. I also tried to make sure that some of the gunk, I actually stood these in the fridge upside down so I could flip them a couple of times just to get some of the gunk in suspension. I usually don't roll cans, but in the last few instances when IPAs have been sitting in the fridge for over a week of these, especially with some of the brew hose ones, or one of the brew hose ones, there was this thick layer of hop flavor. And I felt like it's lacking hops or hop flavor, hop matter. And you get that in these saturated beers. And if you want that saturated flavor, I think some of that needs to be in suspension. I used to be very much against it, but I think I might changing my mind a little bit here, just because you want that singing expressive pop. But I'm sharing this can, and but not with anyone in here, with my missus and her sister. But if I was drinking on my own, maybe that would be a different story. But I should stop talking and smell some beer, right? Let's check it out. Oh, it smells really nice, really pineapple-y. There's definitely a little bit of a green herbal edge to it. Like a minty evergreen thing. Yeah, actually also evergreen, like pine almost. But minty or spearmint, but it's mostly pineapple. For triple dry hop, it's actually not as bombastic. So I've actually already had a can of this. We got more than one can, but I got some people who wanted to get cans from Bad Seed, so we shared the cans. And I tried this a week ago, and it was a similar experience, but I was thinking this is just because it's late in the evening. And I think it smells better now. That can was also colder. There's also, like, besides the pineapple, there's some bright tropical fruit. There's some lime, zestiness, maybe a little bit of passion fruit underneath as well. It smells really good. Let's try it. Cheers. Thanks for helping, Joe. Totally different story when you get it in your mouth. It's much more saturated in flavor. I don't know why the aroma was a little bit, like, a few notches down. But this is really, really good. I don't think it's the best hazy I've had from North Park, but it's really, really good. It's definitely got a very popping, bright hop character, but also some sweet juiciness, a little bit like mango and stuff like that. Really easy drinking, though, for triple dry hopping. I'm guessing you can also feel there's more residual sweetness. It seems to be like the higher you go in dry hopping, the residual sweetness has to follow a little bit for the beer not to be too green and biting. So there's like a lot of bright tropical kind of fruit notes, pineapple, passion fruit. There's a little bit of that sweet mango edge. There is that evergreen almost note and slightly, Joe talks about tomato vines. I can almost kind of see this in this, but also like Thai basil to me. You can definitely feel that this is a Citra showcase beer because it really tastes a lot like Citra. I think there is the smallest touch of Nelson. Just lightly. There's a little bit of that like dank, stinky, weedy Nelson thing, but it's like super light paired with some tropical fruitiness. I think Citra really shines. And Galaxy, I don't know if I'm really pinpointing it. Like most people say brewers these days, like Galaxy is not what it used to, and something like the hops are blended in Australia, and like I've listened to a lot of brewers podcasts, and everyone likes this shit on Galaxy and saying like it's nice, but it's not nice to use on its own anymore. Like everyone talks about Galaxy needs to be blended with other hops to be nice. And like when I think of Galaxy, I think that melon character, and I think a lot of herbal and spicy notes. I'm not really getting that besides that Thai basil thing, and I think that could just come from saturation of hop additions. And there's also got some bitterness, but that could also just be the amount of hops in there. Really fucking good though. Really drinkable stuff. Really sessionable. Yeah, and I like how it's like up front, you can definitely feel there's sweetness, but there's just so much dryness from saturation of hop additions that it's not too sweet. And that's my problem often with like double IPAs and triple IPAs in Europe. It's like people don't tend to use the same amount of hops. Like I think people usually would use maybe max 5 pounds per barrels, but most people are much lower than that. At least in Denmark, like there's a couple breweries that put the grammage on the labels. And like I feel like hazy IPAs, then they turn into these more maybe OG juice bombs that you think of when you think Treehouse and stuff like that. But I just don't. I think they often just get too cloying because they also finish highs, and they're like they have high finishing gravities. They get really sweet and soupy, gloopy, estery, and then a slight scattering of hops because the sweetness kind of takes over. The balance in the hazies is when you use so many fucking hops that it balances out the sweetness and the estery, so they kind of coexist in an awesome canvas where they pop and sing. Those are like the best hazies to me. That are not too sweet, but they're also not too green and hoppy. And this is a little bit similar to that. Like it's following that, but it's just not the best of the best I've had. Where it's like it's definitely got some sweetness, it's definitely got a lot of hoppiness, and then it's got some balance because of that saturation balancing out the sweetness. Because I actually think these beers are much sweeter than we think. Like in the beginning, it's like, oh yeah, it's so nice that it's dry. But I'm thinking like actually that dryness comes from all these massive hop additions. I'm getting actually a little bit of a melon note now with like that sweet mango. But it's nice. It's not my favorite hazy from North Park, but it's a really, really good fucking haze and a whole lot better than, a lot of hazies going around these days because everyone makes haze and then there's bound to be a lot of not so good haze. But yeah, nice triple dry hop hazy IPA. That's rather drinkable. So in terms of grade, almost drank it all in this video. Early 90s, 92, 93. Really good, really enjoyable. But I would take something like Inset Fu that I got this time around, any day over this. That beer is fire. That is one of the best modern kind of West Coast beers I've had. Period. If we're talking North Park, I think Nose Goblin's a bit better. That beer was just, whew, jeez. But yeah, great stuff. If you guys had a chance to try X-Raying Citra, the triple dry hop hazy double IPA with Citra as the main focus from North Park, let me know what you thought of it. Thanks a ton to Joe for helping out getting the cans. And as always, we've got to subscribe to on the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. And give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm going to say cheers. And see you guys in another video.